Did you know that the delicious aroma of your favorite fried or baked treats might be hiding a potential health hazard? As tempting as those golden brown delicacies may be, they often harbor a potentially carcinogenic substance called acrylamide. This chemical forms during high-heat cooking, particularly in plant-based foods rich in carbohydrates. While it might not pose an immediate threat, regular exposure to acrylamide over time has been linked to an increased risk of certain cancers. This begs the question, are we unknowingly putting our health at risk for the sake of flavor and convenience? Acrylamide is a chemical compound that forms in food during high-heat cooking methods like frying, baking, and roasting. It typically occurs when starchy foods, particularly those rich in the amino acid asparagine, are subjected to temperatures above 120 degrees Celsius or 248 degrees Fahrenheit. This process, known as the Maillard reaction, is responsible for the browning and desirable flavor development we associate with cooked foods. However, this reaction also inadvertently produces acrylamide as a byproduct. The higher the temperature and the longer the cooking time, the greater the amount of acrylamide formed. It's important to note that acrylamide formation is not limited to home cooking. It's also prevalent in many processed foods that undergo high-heat treatments during manufacturing, such as potato chips, breakfast cereals, and coffee. While acrylamide occurs naturally in some foods, its levels are significantly elevated through cooking and processing. While the occasional exposure to acrylamide might not pose a significant threat, regular and high intake has been associated with several health risks. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, or IARC, classifies acrylamide as a probable human carcinogen based on substantial evidence from animal studies. These studies have shown that acrylamide can cause DNA damage and mutations, leading to the development of tumors in various organs. In humans, studies have linked high acrylamide intake to an increased risk of endometrial, ovarian, and breast cancers. Additionally, some studies suggest a potential association between acrylamide exposure and an elevated risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. While more research is needed to establish definitive causal links, the existing evidence highlights the importance of minimizing acrylamide intake as a precautionary measure. Section 4. Acrylamide hotspots. Foods to watch out for. Acrylamide formation is not uniform across all foods. It varies significantly depending on the type of food and the cooking method used. It primarily occurs in plant-based foods that are rich in carbohydrates and the amino acid asparagine. When these foods are cooked at high temperatures, such as frying, baking, or roasting, acrylamide can form. Some of the most common culprits include potato products like French fries, potato chips, and roasted potatoes, which top the list due to their high starch content, and the common practice of deep frying or baking them at high temperatures. These methods significantly increase the acrylamide levels in these foods. Grain products such as bread, breakfast cereals, and crackers, especially those that are toasted or baked to a dark brown color, can also contain significant amounts of acrylamide. The longer and hotter these foods are cooked, the more acrylamide they tend to develop. Coffee is another one. The roasting process of coffee beans leads to the formation of acrylamide. This is particularly true for dark roast coffee, which undergoes a longer roasting process. However, the levels in brewed coffee vary depending on the type of beans, roasting method, and brewing time. Light roast coffee generally contains less acrylamide compared to dark roast. Other foods that can contain acrylamide include roasted nuts, baked goods like cookies and biscuits, and certain processed snacks. These items often undergo high-temperature cooking processes that can lead to acrylamide formation. It's crucial to be mindful of the cooking methods and the degree of browning when preparing these foods. Overcooking or cooking at very high temperatures can increase acrylamide levels. As a general rule of thumb, lighter-colored foods tend to contain lower levels of acrylamide compared to their darker, more heavily cooked counterparts. Opting for lighter cooking methods can help reduce your exposure to this chemical. Section 5. Reducing acrylamide intake. Practical tips for safer cooking. While eliminating acrylamide entirely from our diets might not be feasible, there are several practical steps we can take to minimize our exposure. Acrylamide is a chemical that can form in some foods during high-temperature cooking processes, such as frying, roasting, and baking. Understanding how to reduce its formation can help us make healthier choices. Choose boiling or steaming as cooking methods, as they generally do not produce significant amounts of acrylamide. These methods are not only safer but also help in retaining the nutrients in your vegetables, making your meals healthier. Aim for a golden yellow color when baking or roasting rather than dark brown. This lighter color indicates that the food has been cooked adequately without excessive acrylamide formation, ensuring a safer meal. This indicates that the food has been cooked adequately without excessive acrylamide formation. Keeping an eye on the color can be a simple yet effective way to monitor your cooking process. Store potatoes in a cool, dark place and avoid storing them in the refrigerator, as this can increase their sugar content and potentially lead to higher acrylamide formation during cooking. Proper storage is key to maintaining the quality and safety of your ingredients. When toasting bread, opt for a light toasting rather than a dark, crispy texture. Lightly toasted bread not only tastes great but also reduces the risk of acrylamide formation. Diversify your diet to include a variety of foods to avoid overconsumption of any particular food group that might be high in acrylamide. A varied diet ensures you get a wide range of nutrients and reduces the risk associated with any single food item. By adopting these simple yet effective strategies, we can significantly reduce our acrylamide intake without compromising on taste or nutritional value. Making small changes in our cooking habits can lead to healthier, safer meals for ourselves and our families. Section 6. Counteracting acrylamide. Can we neutralize its effects? While minimizing acrylamide intake through dietary modifications is crucial, researchers are also exploring ways to counteract its potential negative effects. Some studies suggest that certain antioxidants, such as those found in fruits, vegetables, and green tea, might help neutralize the harmful free radicals produced by acrylamide in the body. Furthermore, maintaining a healthy lifestyle that includes regular physical activity, adequate sleep, and stress management can support our body's natural detoxification processes and potentially mitigate the impact of acrylamide exposure. Section 7. Beyond acrylamide. The bigger picture of processed foods and health. The presence of acrylamide in many processed foods highlights a broader concern about the potential health implications of modern food processing techniques. These techniques, while innovative, often come with hidden risks that we are only beginning to understand. While these techniques have made food more convenient and accessible, they often involve high temperatures, artificial ingredients, and excessive amounts of sugar, salt, and unhealthy fats. These elements can contribute to a range of health issues, from obesity to heart disease. By shifting our focus towards whole, minimally processed foods, we can not only reduce our acrylamide intake, but also improve our overall nutritional intake and reduce the risk of chronic diseases. This shift can lead to a more balanced and healthful diet. This includes prioritizing fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds, which are rich in essential nutrients and beneficial compounds that support our health, and limiting our consumption of processed snacks, sugary drinks, and fast food. Making these choices can help us maintain a healthier lifestyle and prevent diet-related illnesses. In conclusion, while acrylamide might be a hidden danger lurking in our favorite foods, understanding its formation, health risks, and ways to minimize exposure empowers us to make informed dietary choices. Knowledge is our best tool in navigating the complexities of modern diets. By adopting a balanced and mindful approach to eating, we can savor the pleasures of food while safeguarding our long-term health and well-being. This mindful approach ensures that we enjoy our meals without compromising our health.